There's a bit of sewing involved because you have to sew the length of your waist. I use a sewing machine because it's much faster and more efficient to get it done and easier to go in a straight line. But you can hand stitch it if you want to, all the way around. That works. If you don't have a sewing machine, it's just more time consuming. But if you're good at that, then go ahead, that's fine. So you're gonna need to buy some kind of elastic. This is probably about an inch wide. I know they sell elastic about half that size, just whatever you want to do, whether you want a bigger cinch or a shorter cinch. The one I did yesterday was with the 1 inch size elastic. You're going to get the elastic and measure your waist, which is not your hips, not up here, basically above your belly button. And you're gonna snip it off where the ends meet. Okay, so I have a piece of elastic that is the length of my waist. Next, you want to try on the sweatshirt or t-shirt, whatever you're cropping, and figure out how short you want it. I put 2 pins in place, if you can see here, so that when I lay it down and get ready to actually cut it, it's a little bit more stable and I can kind of follow the straight line of where the pins are. Sometimes, but you just got it. It's totally okay if the initial cut isn't perfect because you're gonna be folding it under and sewing it anyways, so it's okay. Okay, once you've cut your hoodie, you're gonna want to hand sew one end of the elastic to one of the seams on the side. If you don't know how to hand sew, there are plenty of YouTube videos you can look up that teach you very easily. It's not hard. Okay, so this is the bottom of the hoodie. So attach the end of the elastic alongside the bottom of it and just hand sew that down. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best. You can even run the sewing machine along the length of this to just fasten it more. Okay, so now I've secured this to the end so it's not going to come off if you pull it. So now we're ready to start sewing all the way around. You're going to turn your shirt all the way inside outwards if you haven't yet. So basically we're making a sort of pocket for the elastic. I folded the elastic over, and one mistake I did make was I sewed it all the way to the end of the t-shirt. Leave just a little bit more space, because once you put this under the sewing machine or hand stitch it, you don't need to sew the elastic to the shirt. You need to sew, like, I don't even know if y'all can see this, just this little tip of it that's not touching the elastic to just secure it in there, but the elastic needs to be able to stretch. Thankfully this shirt is stretchy, so there will be room for me to sew without sewing the elastic. And also it's going to be cinched, so that does leave room for mistakes if hems get a little bit messy. As you run the sewing machine, you're going to want to pull the elastic through as you go so that you can keep a model for how much of the fabric you want to pull over the elastic, like this. Okay, so I've sewn across the entire shirt, and then I left a little open pocket here, or an opening to the pocket, so that I could pull the elastic through, just in case I need to make adjustments on the length of the elastic. So what I would do now to ensure that your elastic doesn't come apart, you need to sew the other piece of your elastic to the other side of the seam. This piece of white is the other end of the elastic that I already sewed to the sweatshirt. This is the other side that I need to do. Honestly, I would go ahead and sew through all of those layers so that you know it's secure. And then once again, if you want to, you can run your sewing machine down the width of this. that sunshine on my Sunday best. Once you've closed the last bit of the pocket up, you're ready to move around the fabric however you want to make it look cinched and try it on. And I'm done.